Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our August 11th council meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. On the agenda, we have late items. So the 2026 budget process presentation will be at 9:06. Letter of support. So this letter of support and the task force letter are the same thing. So that's under 12.2. Then I want to add, oh no, sorry, they're not the same thing. The letter of support for AMMSA is 12.2. The task force invitation letter is 12.4. And I also want to add community standards bylaw, 12.3, and a letter that council received from concerned citizen under 12.5, whatever, or 6. Under. Everybody got that? So all of that will happen under correspondence for action. Could I have a motion to adopt those items for the agenda?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Councillor Lambert. All in favor? Carried. Do we have Deputy Mayor and Councillor Welke online? Okay. Could I have a motion to change the order of business? That item 9.1, audited financial statements, be considered for item 4. Councillor Librion, thank you. All in favor? Carried. So I apologize, we are just waiting for our auditors to come online. Once again, I apologize to the audience. We are having technical difficulties. Maybe we can talk about the upcoming election, October 22nd. Is it 20th? Oh, sorry, the 20th. So everybody that's interested in running for a council position, please get your application in and your your number of people that you need to support you. Thank God it's not 269,000 like the petition for Alberta. And for those of you that did not know, the fires that are going on in Newfoundland right now have affected one of our former councillor and his wife who lost all of their property. They survived Chuckegg, but so that would be Scott Chandler and his wife Robin Dwyer. I think I've filled in enough space. Is the auditors on? Oh. Welcome, Councillor Welke.
Thank you. I'm not in my vehicle.
Good for you. You must have worked really hard to get to Slave Lake.
Long story. I'll tell you later.
Councillor Lambert has a truck here for sale.
Is everything still getting started, or you guys already started?
Yeah, we're just waiting for the auditors to come in. We've brought, we had a motion to change the order and have the auditors first. And that's all we've done.
He was saying he wasn't going to attend.
Oh. Isn't technology wonderful? So we're going to move along, and once the auditors are able to come in, we will go back. So for number 5, the minutes of our regular council meeting, which was held June 23rd. Is there any errors? Omissions? Is everything kosher? If so, please give me a motion. Councillor Lebrion moves to accept them for information. Thank you. Then we have the minutes of the July 14th, 2025 meeting. Is there any changes to those minutes? If not, can I have a motion, please?
I can't, I wasn't here. I'll move that.
Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. So my report is slim because I was away part of July. I apologize, but July 21st I did attend a CRAW meeting, and we are moving forward with making meetings with the new administration and MPs in Ottawa. I believe we do have a date slated for September 10th. August 5th, I attended a Boreal housing meeting, and that was a meeting between the lawyers, the CAO, and myself. And we successfully sold 8 of our lots that are on the floodplain to Mackenzie County. August 5th, I attended a IDP meeting with members of Mackenzie County and CAO thoughts. We met to go over our terms of reference, and we discussed our current IDP and possible additions to the new IDP. 11th, I had a CRAW meeting again, which was just business as usual. And then tonight we had a special council meeting with the auditors. And that's my report. Any questions? No? Could someone move my report, please?
I'll move your report.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson. All in favor? Carried. Councillor Anderson, committee report.
So the only thing that I have on the committee is August 6th, the Golden Range Society, and everything is moving well there. Yeah, I don't have much else to report. And then I attended the special council meeting this evening. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Lambert.
I also attended the special council meeting tonight, and that is all I have to report.
Councillor Librion.
On July 16th, I attended the Mackenzie Regional Waste Commission meeting, and on the 20th, I attended the High Level Library Board meeting. That's all I have to report. And the special council meeting this evening.
How is the cell coming along? Are they digging yet?
No, they're not digging yet. They've moved all the topsoil and piled it. I'm drawing a blank on the actual date of the commencement of the digging. It's pretty soon, though.
Who is the successful?
I believe it was Pinnacle Services.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Welke, your parking lot looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Not
Wow.
yours, the FASD Society.
Yeah, we have a meeting. I think it's next week, so we'll go over all of that, I'm sure. But yeah, that was a project that was much needed. All I have to report though is the IDP meeting along with the mayor on, I believe it was the 7th, right? August 7th.
Oh, did I say?
Did you say?
Oh, I did say the 5th.
Yeah, August 7th, and yeah, it felt productive, and it was good to be meeting with our neighbors again on something. And that's all I have though for this session is that meeting, which I felt was a good step forward in working together with Mackenzie County.
Yes, it was a positive meeting. Thank you, Councillor Welke. Yes, Councillor Librion.
I just wanted to ask Viv, in regards to the library, what is the update with the air conditioning system? We had to close again another day last week, so.
Through your worship, we are still waiting for the Kinetics contractor to get back to us and schedule a time to come and then look at the system. This is also impacting our side as well.
Yeah, the main issue with the library is it's all windows, and they're all the wrong way
understand.
facing, so it turns into a greenhouse.
No, I
So if it's going to be a couple more weeks, then we'll go ahead and move forward with just some temporary cooling solutions for that area. We were just looking for some communication, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we keep following up with them, and then as soon as I know I have any news, I will let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So there still is a air quality problem? Oh, it's
Through your
temperature
worship,
now.
it's a heating problem, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you for your, oh, sorry, Counselor Lambert?
Yeah, just a question in regards to that. So is there not a local contractor we can use in the meantime?
Through your worship, the Director of Community Services reached out to local contractors, and they informed that they are unable to work in the system.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Could I please have someone move the council reports? Counselor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. Are we back? Yeah. What's KS? Oh, Keith. Okay, so we will move on to administrative reports, CAO.
Through your worship, good evening, your worship and council. For planning and development, I stepped in as the interim lead of the department. I continue to work closely with staff and consultants. I have been reviewing and approving planning applications, including access approaches, utility permits, development permits, variances, etc. I also collaborated with the consultant to create an approach standards brochure to guide applicants and streamline the process. And also work with our assessors to address some disputes. And I was successful in achieve full resolution, and then the two complainants formal withdrawal their complaints, and we finalized the 2024 tax roll. I'm also continue to collaborate with staff and consultants to refine our budget process, and the Director of Finance will present our process further down in the agenda. And then this process is focused on statutory compliance, transparency, and public engagement. And then it is designed to give the residents an opportunity to observe and participate meaningfully in our budget, 2026 budget process. I'm also continue to work closely with the Assistant Deputy Minister Sandberg of Municipal Affairs. So far, we successfully recovered 1.75 million, and we're still awaiting an additional 671,000. I also worked with the Provincial Grants Division, the auditors, and our staff to provide the necessary documentation and make adjustments to avoid a qualified audit for 2023. I've also met with property owners to address some unresolved concerns from previous administration and committed to resolve the issues with transparency and respect. I attended the IDP Steering Committee meeting with Mayor McAteer and Councillor Welke, and also with Mackenzie County representatives. Also met with engineers and consultants to get updates and then progress reports on various projects, and also requested support in identifying next steps for all our outstanding projects. And worked with our natural gas procurement specialist to go to market to secure competitive gas rates for the town. I also did some grant research to investigate funding opportunities to support asset management, and this is going to be focused on infrastructure planning, data management, and efficiency. And also collaborated with HR consultants to explore performance review frameworks, and continue to work with staff to ensure consistent messaging on municipal priorities. Also managed a wide range of responsibilities over the past 2 weeks. And then these initiatives reflect ongoing efforts to support statutory obligations, operational continuity, and community development. I welcome any questions.
Thank you. Council, do you have any questions? No? Could I have someone, you have a question?
Just in regards to the Director of Planning and Development, you're saying you have to step into the role there. Have we put out a job advertisement looking for a new one at all?
Through your worship, yes, we have been advertising for a while now.
Any successful applicants?
Not yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Could I have a motion to accept the CAO's report, please? Councillor Lebrion, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to 9.2, which is a grant application for climate-ready planning.
Through your worship, administration is asking council to approve an application to the FCM's Local Leadership for Climate Adaptation Initiative. The project will integrate a climate adaptation strategy into our asset management initiative, focusing on wildfire risk and infrastructure resilience. So administration is proposing that we use $17,500 contribution from the general reserve contingent on grant approval, and FCM would fund the remaining $70,000 for a total of $87,500. This project will help us assess climate risks, plan for resilient infrastructure, modernize asset management, protect public safety and natural assets, and then also aligns with federal and provincial climate strategies and positions the High Level as a proactive, resilient community.
Yes.
Yeah, just a question. So I can see the value here. Just wondering, like, how will this differ from our current emergency management plan? Like, are we going to be making substantial changes there? We're going to have to do an overhaul?
Through your worship, this will be focused on asset management.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna be the Debbie Downer here.
I was just going to say, considering we don't know what, we don't have our 24 audit yet, so I was just wondering with the funding there.
I am not a climate shift denier, but I think that 17,000 looks small on a paper, but it's real money for High Level, and it's not in our strategic plan, so kind of spending money outside our priorities means shifting money from committed projects and projects that council kind of has allotted. And even if FCM does fund 80% of the study, implementing the recommendations I can see already will require hundreds of thousands of dollars for the town, which would mean tax increases or debt. I'm not going to debate this with you.
No, I'm not.
Secondly, grant administration is very labor intensive, especially when applying for federal grants. And managing a project with a staff that's already stretched to the limit, I think it will be, money poorly placed, and it will be a shelf project. And I think that we have already lived through a major wildfire evacuation, and we have existing emergency response plans, and I know it's assets, but we know what our assets are. And myself and others might see this as paying for a study that rather than taking immediate action will be a long-term thing when we can have alternatives like we already get from the provincial government, where we have mitigation and projects where we can mitigate and get funding for fire prevention. And I know that even wildfire safety, residents might question why council is funding something when there's unresolved issues like our road conditions, our drainage, our housing, our multi-purpose center, which are part of our strategic plan. So my position is no.
Through your worship, this is not a study. This will actually give us a full asset management plan,
So who's gonna do the work?
a consultant.
So there you go, that's already up the ante of the 17,000.
No, this is all included in here. We currently do not have an asset management plan. And this will give us an asset management plan plus information to plan for wildfire mitigation.
But we did already have a grant for an asset management plan.
But we did not get an asset management plan.
So what happened to the 70,000 that we put into that?
Through your worship, I cannot speak for past practices. I cannot answer that. But I can assure you that if we are successful in applying for this FCM grant, that the goal is to have an asset management plan in the end that will also help us with our future capital project grant
So
applications.
the government hasn't recalled that grant money?
I didn't get that far. I don't know if that's a 2024 thing. We're gonna start working on that, and then I can look into it, but I cannot
So
speak for
maybe we
past
wait
practice.
until we find out where that grant money is before we go on to another grant. For
We
the
do
same
not-
thing.
Yeah, sure. We do not have an asset management plan, and this would give us an asset management plan and position the town to apply for other grants for bigger capital projects.
My question was around the 17,500. That portion that the town would be responsible for, is that like in lieu of its services? So our staff doing 17,000, so that's going to be a fiscal responsibility, like money up front?
Anybody else?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
What's the deadline on this?
Through your
Did you mention that,
worship,
or-
the grant applications, the FCM is receiving applications right now.
Okay, I am also interested in happened with our other asset management grant, and you know, the term asset management over and over again, and yet we don't have anything. I'd like a little more information myself. On where our current asset management plan work is at.
Through your worship, we do not have an asset management plan, or I could not find any evidence of a plan that this has been started. This is similar to ARO. The council also advised that that work had been done. I can investigate further if that's what council wishes.
I would prefer to have this investigated because we applied for a grant and we received a grant. Now, if that's sitting out there in limbo, I know Director Straub would have been part of that asset management planning. I'd be interested to hear what he has to say.
I'll turn it over to the Director of Operations to speak to this.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. So we don't have an asset manager plan per se, but in 2021, Council passed the asset management strategy. And within that strategy, we've hired FCM, and we've started the work on Citywide, which is our asset management baseline. Though this program isn't completed, it was left when Haley left, and then Logan started again. So we're in different levels of asset management acquisition. So I believe the plan was in 2021, and it was called the Asset Management Strategy. And it was passed by council. The funds we incurred or used went towards building the asset management system, implementing a variety of things, including GIS, quite a bit of implementation of our assets, as well as a work module, which is up and running or has been for a year or so, and that's the service request through the asset management system. So we are working on it. I'm not sure where the current state in, as we've lost our development again, but we certainly have been working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Through your worship, just for clarification, PSD is a software that the town purchased.
And
It's not an asset management plan. And until we have the data, we can enter the data that we're
but
hoping
how
to
is
get.
this gonna help us get the data? We need the data from the people that are on the ground.
Correct. So they give the data and then we compile them, and there's an analysis done with the data that we receive to let us know how much it's going to cost to replace our core assets like roads, pipes, our infrastructure.
But we have that through what's the engineering company, how much it will cost to replace our infrastructure. What's the engineering company name?
Is that, go ahead.
I think it's Associated Engineering.
Yes, Associated Engineering. That's not how I read this.
Yeah.
Maybe I read it wrong.
Through your worship, so part of this plan, what they also do is come up with the cost and also what the reserve contributions should be to maintain and replace the infrastructure, which it's not part of the work that Associated Engineer did.
Okay. Councillor Librion.
So when it comes to what we were talking about from 2021, what Keith filled us in on here, is it possible that the funds that we were given at that time were used to purchase this our access to this program? Because I know those programs are quite expensive.
Through your worship, that's correct. And as the Director of Operations stated, to develop a strategy. So that's also, that would have been the study portion of this and the software purchase.
Okay, so this would just be us building on the access we already have?
Through your worship, that's correct.
Councillor Lambert?
Yeah, just to add on to that, so I did do some research myself quickly, and I did find out that in 2021, that is what happened with Citywide. Continued throughout the rest of 2021. So yeah, I would be, after seeing this information and talking or listening to Director Straub, I would be inclined to approve this if it is approved through the application and we have the staff capacity to take it on.
And do we have the staff capacity?
Through your worship, yes. And then the consultant would do the work. And then we have staff to input the data into our system.
And how much is a consultant gonna be worth? Ballpark, I know you don't know the exact number.
Through your worship, I have to get back to you, but the project is not going to exceed this amount.
Okay,
I have a question.
Councillor Welke?
So basically we have all of the tools in place to manage our assets. We just don't have the plan.
Through your worship, that's correct.
Okay, so we're well situated to participate in something like this. Now, had we not had Citywide and all that other stuff, would we still be way behind? And then it would be a big waste of time going with something like this, but we're actually right on the, basically what I'm hearing, we're on the cusp. We just need, you know, a little bit of help getting that plan in place. And then basically the $17,000 is a heavily discounted rate because it's a lot of different organizations buying into this project.
Who are you addressing that to?
I guess to you, Madam Mayor.
I am against this project because it's not part of our strategic plan. And the parts of our strategic plan that are not being activated, i.e. the multipurpose center, the road upgrades, are being pushed aside. And if we keep introducing new projects, that takes away from those. And if this council wishes to undergo this, they should put it in next year's strategic plan because it is not, as far as I can see, a necessary project.
But if we need to properly manage our assets, and that goes along with, I guess, with this whole project in terms of if we lose everything, I didn't read it all, but like this is all about climate change. But is this asset management all tied into the, you know, the fact that, you know, you could lose assets, you know, due to these things, and like if everything's properly managed, you can mitigate risk and everything like that. I think that's extremely important. And if we've been having all these tools in place but haven't taken it over, you know, the finish line for actually managing this stuff, then isn't $17,000 a deal to get this done? And it is a project that we could be.
Did you read the whole project?
No.
Well, I think we should table this.
I'm okay for that too, because I would kind of like to learn more, but I do like, if asset management is a big aspect of this project specifically for $17,000, that's not a horrible thing.
No, it's
You know, with
not.
all the,
It's not. I'm not saying this, it's not the $17,000. It's the fact
So that's-
that we are adding when we have not been addressing those that were in our strategic plan.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So I do believe that this is something that needs to be done. I also think that if we sit back and sit on our hands, the funding will go away and then we'll be doing it all by ourselves. So then the cost will be 87,000 or 90,000 instead of 17,000. As far as reneging or slowing down on projects that are in effect right now, some of it has to do with STIP funding that didn't come by. So to say that those projects did not go ahead or will not go ahead because of this is not necessarily true. The multiplex facility at the present time, unless we can find funding, is pretty much a dead horse. And we need some more community support on that, and some actual community funding that'll show up from whatever it may be, businesses, an organization will take it on, that'll look for, you know, money in some fashion. So I don't think this is going to counter any of those projects. I think it's moving forward so that we get some of this stuff done.
So respectfully, if we don't do anything, and we haven't done anything for a year on the multiplex, it will never move forward. We have an aging facility that has 3 years of life in it. Even if we don't build a multiplex, we need to build an arena. So we need to move forward on some of these, and it's not the 17,000. It is staff time. We have been told over and over again that we can't get things done because we don't have the staff. So if you look at the key components of this grant, it is climate risk and vulnerability, and it's focused on wildlife hazards. wildfire hazard. It's a climate adaptation plan, which identifies priority infrastructure, and we know what those are. And it integrates nowhere in here do I see that it's gonna help us develop an asset management plan.
Through your
Unless
worship.
I read this wrong.
Through your worship, I follow up with the grant provider, and that is acceptable. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring this forward to council. And also, it is administration's intent to share this asset management plan with grant providers moving forward when we're trying to apply for STIP funding and show the condition of the roads and show that we are being responsible in managing our assets. Grant providers like to see that.
And the public likes to see us move ahead with our strategic plan, and I'm not gonna debate it any further. I want a motion. And I'm not gonna debate it with administration. You have a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion for option 1.
All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to 9.3, municipal planning services with the residential development incentive.
Through your worship, I'm just gonna follow up with Bill and see if the consultant is online to join. Through your worship, I will request that we table this at the next council meeting, please. Yes.
What about the auditors? If they're locked out? I think the auditors are meant to do it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What is, I have a question. So what is council's responsibility or what happens if we table it? Is it gonna slow 2024s down?
For 2 weeks?
Yeah.
No, we have one on the 25th. Well, that's what it says.
Well,
on the
if they're
calendar.
locked out and they can't get on, what choice do we have?
Well, I spoke with him. He said perhaps we'll put him on speaker. Would that suffice?
Could I have a motion to table 9-3 to the next meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Counselor Anderson. All in favor? Carried. Counselor Welke, you in favor of that?
Is 9-3 the municipal planning services thing we were just about to talk
Yes,
about?
the grant application.
Okay, yeah, because they're not, it's not pressing, is it?
No.
Okay, yeah, in favor.
Let's move on to 9-4. Are they ready to come in right now? Okay. Sorry, we will go back to the auditor's statement. I really apologize, everybody. They just can't be helped. The auditors are locked out.
Try again.
Yep, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay, well, it's kind of strange, but I mean, as long as you can hear me, that's okay.
Okay, so are we gonna can you show this? No, you can't. Can somebody show this on so that the audience can see? I mean, it's okay for them to hear him, but they need to see it as well.
That's for sure. You want to see something, just not hear my voice.
Not that we don't like to hear it.
Well, that's the first time I've heard that. You guys let me know whenever you're ready.
We can certainly hear you, we're just waiting to see you. Okay, we're gonna table this. We're gonna table this to our 25th meeting in August.
Okay?
I really apologize, but there is no sense in the public watching or listening if they cannot see anything.
For sure. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
And hopefully we can have this rectified.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're locked out. Or you're locked out.
I'm not sure either.
So, perhaps we can invite you back on August 25th? Are you available?
Yeah, what, same time?
7 o'clock?
Yep. I'll mark that in my calendar right now.
Okay, thank you very much, and I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
All right, have a good
Okay, thank you, guys.
holiday.
See you soon.
Yeah, bye.
I'll make the motion to table till August 25th.
Thank you, Counselor Anderson. All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to Apex Utilities.
Good evening, Your Worship and Council. I'm not sure if you have any questions for me. This is a relatively brief staff report for a significantly long agreement. I guess what I would do is I would highlight for council's attention in the recommendation that we're asking you to, well, what I've done is we've infilled Article 1N with a $50,000 value there, and Article 1N speaks to major work. And so this is no change from the previous agreement. Major work is defined as or the threshold that we create with a dollar value is where or when Apex needs to notify and start working very closely with the town and the town staff. I would suggest primarily operations staff with respect to what's happening, and planning staff, what's happening with the work that they're doing to affect the infrastructure. It could, for example, affect sidewalks, streets, things like that. And the $50,000 threshold really defines where Apex needs to begin working, as I said, with operations staff to make sure everything goes smoothly. Also, there's a, if you were to read into the agreement along pages 125, 133, 134, 135, it starts to define a lot of those areas where major work, speaking to major work, including providing as-built back to the town with regards to work that's been completed. So $50,000 is the minimum threshold that can be applied. And so we've gone with I've suggested the minimum threshold of $50,000. And the other item that I've spoken to or infilled for council's consideration is the 30% value with respect to the franchise fee itself, the amount of money that the town collects from the agreement. And I've commented on page 115 of your agenda that the 30% franchise fee, I worked with our director of finance and he fleshed out some figures for you, that 30% is at the higher upper echelon of what municipalities who have agreements with Apex. 30% is at the upper tier of what municipalities are collecting. Council can see that going back to the end where we've the director of finance has provided the very last page, 182, with the 30% collection. You can see what we are collecting as a municipality, which is, and pardon me, in the previous page as well, we're collecting over the 10-year period almost $1 million from the franchise fee. And other than those two elements of the agreement, there's really no significant or no further changes or alterations to the agreement being proposed for council. It'd probably be important for me to highlight for you the process here, which is really clearly defined for any municipality. If you give first reading to the bylaw tonight, then we contact Apex tomorrow, start to work with the authority in terms of advertising the rate out to the residents. There's a waiting period for feedback from the residents. If any feedback is received, positive or negative, it's communicated out. And then ultimately, we bring the bylaw back to council in September for second and third reading. And then the agreement could be executed.
Do you have any questions, council? Is someone, yes,
So
Councillor Lambert?
yes, you had mentioned that the agreement's been the same as the past, so 30% was the franchise fee 10 years ago as well.
Through your worship, yes.
I think I myself would like to put a recommendation forward that we consider lowering the rate. Just, as you had mentioned yourself, we are at one of the higher spectrum there compared to other municipalities, especially our size. The only ones that are higher are major cities, which their overall utility costs are quite low. Considering our mill rate is I would say a bit to the mid to high range compared to other municipalities our size as well. I would like to see us potentially decrease this just in regards to the affordability issues that are ongoing. I
Council?
would consider anywhere from 25-27% rate instead of 30.
So just to offer some explanation to why our franchise fees are so high is because we have a lot of properties in high level that don't pay taxes. And the 30% was added so that we would be able to collect that from all taxpayers, like the hospital, the churches, the schools. They don't pay it. So
I understand that, but now because of that, everyone else in town is subsidizing that as well.
subsidizing what?
Well, they're paying that extra percent because we want to make more on top of the other buildings. So now the residents are not paying more.
Yep, they are. And that is one of the reasons that we didn't raise our mill rate for so many years. Was so that, but this, I agree, this year our tax rate went up. But maybe we also have to look at some service cuts in the future.
Yeah.
If you want, when does this have to go back?
So it's, I have to answer your question differently. So what we're in the midst of right now is the process of coming before council for first reading,
Yes,
then going out with the advertising, then and working with the authority around notifying them of the feedback we receive, et cetera, and then finally coming back to you. The agreement ends, or pardon me, the agreement needs to be executed before the end of September, which provides us, it's a pretty tight timeline. Yeah.
why I ask is maybe you can come back with some information. If we do, we'll give first reading and then we can get information on different rates. If we lower it, how much it will affect our budget. And, you know, like if we lower it 5% or whatever. But let's see how it affects the budget. Yes. Go ahead, Kiers.
So, thank you, Your Worship. I have to admit, I'm not 100% confident that I can agree with what you're saying, because I think first reading is going to be to the bylaw with the rates quoted. Then we're going to go out and do the advertising. If we change the rates after that, I'm just not 100%. I'm not sure that we can do that. If we go out with the advertising with the rates, and then there's no negative feedback from it, for instance, and then council comes along and changes the rate after the fact, after the advertising, it might interfere with our process.
So
We could-
any
and then
new
we could
information
re-advertise.
can be added to a bylaw or deferred from a bylaw. This doesn't commit us to it. That's second and third reading.
Question?
I'm
Yes.
inclined to agree with you.
Yes, Councillor
Yeah.
Welke.
I guess the questions would be, can second reading be with amendments?
It can be.
And I think,
Just hang on.
I'm
Go
pretty
ahead.
I mean, my opinion is the only intent would be to get that feedback to see, how concerned the the ratepayers really are. And I could see then we would possibly have an amendment that would follow Councillor Lambert's suggestion. You know, if there's all, I mean, that's the only, so the only amendment would be in a positive direction for everyone, but I'm sort of feeling like I'm comfortable with first reading and see what the public says, as long as we do have some capacity to, you know, to make an amendment if really needed.
We do have the capacity, but that's why first reading is to go out to the public. So
Yeah,
that we
but I
can
think-
get their feedback. And if
But
there's
then
no
if-
feedback, then we can keep it the same.
Right, but if there's significant feedback requiring significant change on our part, or in our opinion, requiring significant change, then do you then have to go back out to the public again if you significant change?
You can make amendments within the second reading.
But I guess maybe to what extent? And I think only extent of the amendments would be.
I don't know what extent. We can change whatever we want.
Okay, well then, I mean, we got to get this rolling. So yeah, I would proceed with myself with the first reading as is.
Okay. So Councillor Welke has made a motion for first reading.
As long as there's no other comments.
Pardon me?
As long as there's no other comments, just I don't know if we've heard from everybody, so.
Well, they can comment.
No, I just basically exactly what Crystal said is that if you can bring back the numbers for us and what it would look like with a 2% decrease or a 5% decrease,
Councillor,
that's something I'm interested in seeing as well.
I think what I'm hearing from council is we can go out with the advertising. You're not, what I'm hearing from you at this point is that you're not contemplating increasing it, you're actually contemplating decreasing it. And I don't think that would have a negative consequence out to the constituents. So I think you're feeling safer as we've talked through it.
okay. Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, I was just concerned if we go out with first reading and then for some reason we want to amend it, and if we wanted to go up, we would have to go back out to the community, and then that delays it, and because we're really getting into the crunch time as far as getting this done. We don't have council meetings every third day of the week, so it does put things pretty tight. So I guess I'm all for going for first reading as is.
So Councillor Welke's motion is for first reading. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Okay, on to the 9.5, which is the operating variance report. And I really like this. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and councils. So this financial report provides council information on the operation for Q2 2025 for the town. It aims to analyze the revenue and expenses for period of June 30th, 2025. We have provided Appendix A. This is attached and shows the consolidated revenue and expenditure as of 30th of June. The report spans multiple categories, including taxes, payment in lieu of taxes, sales of goods and services, grants, and various expense classifications. It aims to help decision makers monitor fiscal performance and identify variances that may require correction, action, or adjustment during the remainder of the fiscal year. The discussion under this comes under Section 243 of the Alberta Municipal Act of the MGA. Municipalities are mandated to adopt a budget bylaw that outlines estimated revenue and expenditures. This ensures fiscal accountability and transparency. The report reflects compliance with Section 280 and 281 of the MGA, which requires the municipalities to maintain accurate financial records and allow for variance reporting. Notably, the variance analysis align with requirements to responsibly manage public funds and make informed adjustments. Negative variances suggest areas for caution, e.g. underperforming sales of services and large shortfalls in contracted services. Positive variance in certain grant categories and franchise fees point to better than expected inflows, which may affect mid-year financial planning or amendments. Comments on revenue. As of June 20th, 2025, operating revenue totaled 9.7 million, coming in 6.27% of approximately $652,000 below budgeted expectations. The following observations provide context and explanations from administration regarding these variances. We have provided several code items. I would like to go through them, or if you like, I can just give the summary.
Go through them.
Okay. Code 100, these are taxes. The property tax collected for the town are listed under Code 100. The report prorates the revenue 50% as it allows for better comparison to be made to date. Taxes are in line with expectations with budget, with no concerns here. Code 200, this refers to payment in lieu of taxes. That's federal payment in lieu of taxes and provincial payment in lieu of taxes. As noted by the province, payments in lieu of taxes are higher due to province increasing grant back to historic levels.
That's increased 75%, right? Another 25 in 2026?
Yeah.
So that needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, that needs to be adjusted in the 2026 budget.
Yeah.
Code 400, sales and goods services. This revenue category encompasses utility services, pool bookings, and charges related to fire equipment and labor. As of June 30th, 2025, actuals are tracking 9.15%, or approximately $201,000 below budget. Key revenue lines contributed to this shortfall, including fire equipment and labor charges, fuel flowage fees, landing fees, lagoon dumping fees. It's important to note that invoices for fire equipment and labor charges were issued in July. This timing adjustment is expected to improve the overall revenue position by Q3. Code 500, other revenue from own sources. This category comprises revenue from gas and electric franchise fees, building, electricals, plumbing permits, as well as earnings from investment interest, facility rentals, and other miscellaneous sources. As of June 30, 2025, revenue performance is favorable, exceeding expectation by $375,567, or 21.48%. Key contributors to this positive variance include penalty revenue outperforming projections, strong upward trends in gas and franchise fees collections, increased income from other sources within the categories. Code 700, unconditional grants. This category includes a single grant from Mackenzie County. The agreement has value of $1 million. As of June 30th, 2025, the county had not yet been billed. However, an invoice was issued in July, and the revenue is expected to be reflected in the Q3 financial report. Code 800, conditional grants. This category includes both provincial grants and Bosche River contract. As of June 30th, revenue stands at $825,821, reflecting a positive variance of 9.79%. The town has received the following grant funding: Wildland Urban Interface Grant, $500,000, Northern and Regional Economic Development Grant, 290,000. Family and Community Support Services Grant, $80,018. Code 900, Other Revenues. This category holds transfer from town reserves for one-time and limited expenses. Generally, these transfers will be completed at year-end, currently showing under budget by 100%, or $530,821. There is no concern with that. Expense comments. Other expenses. This category encompasses expenditures related to RCMP contract, special programs, and council-led initiatives. As of now, the town has spent $114,000 less than budgeted, representing a 43% underspend. Key costs, such as the RCMP contract, have not yet been incurred, and spending on council initiatives remain minimal, with only $1,079 used from the allocated $40,475 budget. Code 100, Salaries and Wages. This category covers all salaries and wages related expenses for the town, including employer contribution, WCB premiums, and costs associated with elected officials. Wages are the town's largest expense categories, encompassing 36% of the total spend of the town. At mid-year mark, spending is tracking $585,000 below budget, an underspend of 15.4%. The 2025 budget was based on a full staffing complement. However, variances throughout the year have contributed to the reduced expenditure. Code 200, Contracted and General Services. The 23.75%, that's $558,836. Variance under Contracted and General Services for Q2 2025 reflects timing differences in services contracted and project executions. Significant contract services such as seasonal maintenance, engineering, or consulting work are scheduled for the later half of the year, particularly Q3 and Q4, due to weather or procurement cycles. This variance will normalize by year-end as contracts are fulfilled and expenses are incurred. Code 500, Materials, Goods, Supplies, and Utilities. This category primarily covers supplies, lines, and utilities such as electricity and gas. As of now, the expense group is underspent by $422,000, representing 25.43% below budget. Key line items contributing to this variance include electricity, $72,000, street and road materials, $36,000, and equipment consumable for $84,000. It is typical for this category to remain below 50% of the annual budget by the end of June, as spending tends to accelerate in the later half of the year. 700 codes. Transfer payment. This category includes all transfer to province for the Alberta School Foundation Fund, requisitions for senior housing lodges, and allocations to reserve or capital projects. Currently, these transfers are under budget by just over $1 million, or 48.68%. This variance is expected as contributions to reserve and transfers to projects typically occur at year-end. This budget code should be within budget at year-end. Code 800, Debenture and Financial Charges. The 800 code housing debenture payment and bank and collection charges. This category is on track at this stage. However, banking charges are trending over this stage by 24%, or $3,463. The town is currently reporting a net surplus of $2.9 million prior to estimated reserve transfers. Financial performance remains strong heading into the third quarter. Upcoming reports will incorporate divisional backgrounds for greater transparency.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any questions of Director Roy? Councillor Anderson?
I have a question on the unconditional grants, Mackenzie County for the $1 million. I was of the understanding that January 1st, or we'll go January 2nd, that they're supposed to have that fund in our bank account. So I'm wondering why we're not invoicing them till June, and how come they've already, by the looks of this thing, given us 500,000 and we're still waiting for the other 500,000?
This payment was late invoiced, and then we did that in July. Director Viv found that out during the time of investigation and audit, preparing for the year end 2023 and 2024, and then made a concerted effort to immediately demand that this be invoiced, and we're able to get that processed in July. And we believe that in the third quarter, we should be able to have that money in the bank.
Yes.
Through your worship, moving forward, we are going to be invoicing this a lot earlier.
I just wanted to say I appreciate this report. It was very good, and it was very easy to read. Thank you.
Thanks.
Could I have a motion, please, if there's no further question? Councillor Lebrion, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Moving on to the operating variance report. Or no, sorry, the budget process presentation.
Thanks so much, Mayor, through your worship and the council. So this year, under the initiative of CAO Viv, we've decided to enforce best practices to ensure not just monitoring, management, but also transparency. The 2026 budget process introduced a comprehensive framework emphasizing transparency, accountability, and strategic resource allocation. This structured features 4 distinct phases: budget development, council review, budget approval, and budget adaptation. Key innovation include core operations focus, risk-based prioritization, enhanced analytical templates, and systematic public engagement. Council's active support is essential across all phases, requiring strategic oversight, detailed analysis, and informed decision-making to ensure responsible fiscal management and effective service delivery. The budget process overview for 2026 allows for 4-phase structure approach designed to balance administrative efficiencies with democratic oversight. Phase 1 is budget development. The focus here is on core operations, expenses for ongoing maintenance and administrative at current service level. Phase 2 begins in September 8 with core budget and presentation to council. Phase 3, budget approval, includes operating budgets, and we're targeting October 6th to have that through, and capital projects for October 14th. Phase 4, budget adoption, features final review with public input, and that will be around November 10th, and formal adoption by December 8th. This timeline ensures adequate review time while maintaining implementation momentum. Operating budget framework. 2026 operating budget centers on core operations, essential expenses for maintaining current services levels without expansion. Core operating costs include 5 categories: salaries and wages, benefit expenses, meeting/office supply expenses, utility expenses, repairs and maintenance costs, travel expenses. Excluded from this phase are expanded new service operating expenditure, and capital expenditures, except for items that have been previously approved for 2025. This framework creates a stable baseline for budget discussions while clearly distinguishing between essential operations and potential enhancements addressed through supplement requests. The budget template and documents, 3 specialized templates enhance budget clarity and analysis. The year-over-year comparative analysis template, required with operating budget, including 4 sections: operating budget, prior year, one-time items, other items to maintain service level, and supplement items. Line differences under 1,000 are combined. Differences over 1,000 are require individual listings. Supplemental request template addresses both capital and new expanded operating requests, including first year onboarding cost, computer, debt, cell phone, etc. Those fall within that category. The capital budget planning template supports the 5-year capital plan, 2026 to 2030, with comprehensive budget analysis and risk assessment. Supplement request process. All non-core budget items undergo systematic supplemental request evaluation using risk-based prioritization. Requests must be realistic, high priority, and organizationally beneficial. The process utilizes comprehensive risk assessment across multiple dimensions: operational necessity, public safety implications, regulatory requirements, strategic importance, physical impact. Capital supplementary requests are reviewed September 19th, with council presentation beginning with the same month. We use a heat map visualization presentation to prioritize results to council, enabling efficient identification of highest priority items while understanding relative importance across all requests. Capital budget requirements. All capital budget items are treated as supplemental requests unless they are previously approved in the 2025 projects. The framework requires comprehensive 5-year capital planning 2026 to 2030 with detailed project justification, cost analysis, ongoing operational implication assessments. Capital projects undergo the same risk-based prioritization as other supplement requests, ensuring optimal resource allocation. The 3-year capital plan is presented to council September 8. Project must demonstrate clear necessity, appropriate timing, realistic cost, and sustainable financing while supporting long-term municipal objectives. So we've provided timeline for key dates. August 11 will be the initial budget project presentation, which is within today. September 8 will be called budget presentation. September 19 will be capital supplement review. October 6, operating budget approval. October 14, capital project approval. November 10, final review and public input. And then December 8, budget adoption. Council support. Council's budget support encompasses 5 key areas: strategic direction, budget review, fiscal oversight, final approval, and public engagement facilitation. Strategic direction requires establishing budget mandate and priorities that guide administrative development. Budget review demands detailed analysis of operating and capital budgets, ensuring proposed expenditures are justified and aligned with priorities. Fiscal oversight ensures responsibility use of public funds and appropriate reserve engagement management. Final approvals require balancing competing demands while considering community input. Public engagement facilitation ensures meaningful communities' participation throughout the process. The risk assessment and prioritization. This systematic risk assessment framework evaluates supplementary requests across multiple dimensions using objective scoring methodology. Assessment considers operational necessity, that's essential versus enhancement, public safety implications, regulatory compliance requirements, strategic importance, fiscal impact. The process includes evaluating of non-funding non-funding consequences, implementation urgency, cost escalation, potential and alternative solutions. Systematic scoring enables objective comparison across different request types and departments. Peer review and validations ensures assessment accuracy and consistency. Results are presented via heat map visualization for efficient council decision-making. Conclusion. The 2026 budget process represents significant advancement in municipal government governance through enhanced transparency, accountability, and analytical rigor. Success depends on active stakeholder engagement and consistent application of underlying principles. The core operations concept, enhanced templates, and risk-based prioritization provide strong foundation for continued governance improvement. The comprehensive timeline balances true analysis with efficient decision-making while supporting democratic participation. Council's leadership in implementing this framework will establish expectations for excellence that benefit community for years to come in creating a foundation for sustainable municipal development and effective service delivery.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I do apologize, we actually had a PowerPoint presentation, but because of the technical issues we have, I couldn't use the PowerPoint, and I'm just reading through the report.
Perfect. Okay, could I have someone set this for information if you have no questions?
I have a question. So we have always had trouble with dates as council. There's some pretty hard dates in here for timeline key dates. So my suggestion to council is put them in your calendar and let's make sure we don't deviate.
Thank you.
Could I have someone move for information, please? I'll move for information. And maybe administration can send out council dates.
I know it kind of looks like that.
All right, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Thanks so much.
All right, moving on to correspondence for information. Wind Speaker, this is a radio station that's looking for a letter of support. They broadcast into a lot of the Indigenous communities. And the letter that you have there is a letter of support. They don't want any money or anything. They just want us to support them coming into, or putting a transmitter so they can broadcast to the greater area up here. Any questions? And yes, they do have bingo.
I can make that motion to write a letter of support.
Thank you, Councillor Welke. All in favor? Carried. The next one is a request from ATCO Energy. ATCO always has, they donate money in communities, and this year they have highlighted the Northern Lights Regional Humane Society, which is a great society. And they're looking for an item that they can use as their auction. So in the past, council has made pool passes, donated pool passes too, so we could maybe donate a family pool pass. I don't know how much it's worth, $300 and some.
Didn't we, as a group, decide that a bunch of individual pool passes would be better than smaller, larger group ones?
We probably did,
That was at an event.
but that was for an event. This is for an auction item.
Yeah, true. Okay.
It's for a silent auction. We don't want to put individual, well, we could, who knows? They'll accept anything.
You'd have a pretty popular kid if they bid on a whole bunch of individual pool passes that they could hand out to their friends.
Yeah, I mean, we could donate, you know, like a youth pool pass, year pool pass, or a couple of them. Jenna's not here, so I don't know the exact cost of them. I know I paid 80 some, maybe, I can't remember, 120 for 3 months.
When is the event?
Can't remember. But it's an online auction.
Okay.
So council, what's your wish?
I would be more in favor of like a family pass for like 6 months or something like that.
Josh?
I agree. I think a family pass would be better for an event like this.
Councillor Anderson?
I'm in agreement with that.
Councillor Welke?
I think a family pass would be an awesome idea for an event like this.
Okay. Somebody make a motion, please.
What is it gonna be,
Councillor
6 months? Okay.
6 months is what he said.
Yeah, I'll make the motion for a 6-month family swim pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. So the next item that you have on your thing is the same thing from ATCO and, Windspeaker and. So my next one is, and I'm going to read out my resolution. So I want council to approve distribution of the invitation letter from the mayor to identified stakeholders and authorize administration to proceed with contacting potential participants. You've all received the letter? Are you kosher with the letter? So this is what I'm looking for, a motion from council. And I'm going to also include, now that I know we have money and we're giving money away, that council approved $15,000 for this task force in order to conduct travel and time for staff that is spent working with this task force. Does somebody want to talk to me about this? Staff, not council. Because we're going to ask time of staff. Can someone make? Okay, if there's no questions, could I have a motion or a vote of council? All in favor? Nobody?
Aye.
Those opposed? Carried. Did you get that? Okay. Okay, that was the task force. Now I want to make a motion that council direct administration to enforce the unsightly property bylaw in accordance with the enforcement provisions in the community standards bylaw. And furthermore, if council or if administration is gonna make any changes to any bylaw, that they come to council for amendment. Because we do have a community standards bylaw, and bylaws are legislation, and council's legislative decisions are not administrative policies. So if administration is going to implement anything contrary to our bylaw, then they must come to council for an amendment. So I was horrified to hear that we shifted to a complaint-only process without council's approval. This alters our bylaw and is inconsistent with the bylaw, so I would like that motion to be put forward. And going forward, we pay a bylaw person to go around town and see if bylaws are being broken. People should not have to make a complaint when it's a bylaw. So if anybody hasn't read the community standards, it's in our bylaw there. Yes.
Through your worship, administration did not make any changes. This is the information I received when I arrived, that we are a complaint-based
Well, it's
by law
not-
enforcement community. So,
it is
so
not.
this is just for council and the public's information?
This is for public information, that there is a bylaw, and that bylaw states that certain heights of grass, unsightly burnt-out properties, which has actually lowered the assessment of properties on that street by $27,000. And citizens are upset that we are not enforcing our own bylaws. So we need to make sure that building comes down and those people are compliant. It's been 3 years since that building has sat there. And also, you know, like right now, the people are upset that their assessment's lower, but if they go to sell, they're gonna be darn well upset. So that street is horrible. There is also, like, the properties on there are way over our threshold of what we can abide by. And if we don't follow our own bylaws, then why would anybody else in the community? It's like not stopping at stop signs. So I have met with numerous people. There are there are couches outside people's residences. And if you read the community standards, that's not acceptable. Fences that are falling over that are in the public eye, that's not acceptable. And we have a paid person to be out there. Like, I drove around and I could have probably handed out 600 bylaw tickets. I just don't have my bylaw license. But we were going forward, and all of a sudden, we're not. And the community's starting to look derelict again. Businesses downtown with weeds growing up against their building and around their buildings. You know, people are not happy with how it looks. So we need to start enforcing this. My rant. Yes.
Through your worship, thank you for your feedback. When the Director of Emergency Services returned from vacation, I will have a discussion with him. And then I will also encourage your worship and council to refer these residents that are complaining to you to administration, so we can log the complaint and then keep track and make sure that they are addressed properly.
So council is elected to represent the people, and the people come to council. It's not just me they're coming to. There's other council members as well. And they want us to be their voice. And so I'm their voice tonight. I just want administration to understand that there is their role to implement and enforce our bylaws. Any questions? So that is my motion, that council directs administration to enforce unsightly property in accordance with the provisions contained within our community standards bylaw. And further, that any changes to enforcement be brought to council in the form of a amended bylaw. Yes.
So, I'll apologize to administration if they had some form of, direction from council that they were not supposed to enforce the bylaw. The bylaw is the bylaw. And I am in full agreement with the mayor that that bylaw should be enforced. I have driven around town as well, and I am not very happy with properties in the town, whether they're residential or commercial. Some of them are pretty atrocious. So we do have a bylaw, let's enforce the bylaw.
Through your worship, if I may, administration did not receive direction not to enforce bylaws. Since I arrived here, I've been told that we were a complaint-based, which means if we receive a bylaw complaint, we act on it. I just want to clarify that.
I'm not saying that you are, but you are the top of our administration. I expect that you will take that up with people that, and I want the public to hear that we do have a community standards. And if people are getting lax, they need to know that the tickets will be forthcoming. I'm in favor of the motion. Yes, all in favor. My rant went too long, sorry. Opposed? What happened to Jan? So, I know it's been a long, time between. So I have another one with our sponsorship and Facebook. So, first of all, I'm going to read my resolution. First of all, the Town of High Level Facebook page has historically, in every council, received a letter. Did you not? It's been widely used for promoting community events, recognizing sponsors, and celebrating local achievements. The page has over 11,000 followers, which represent a huge, more than High Level, that are engaged in what is happening. Our Facebook page has gone from telling people what is going on into our community into telling them when taxes are due, when the pool's down, et cetera, et cetera. So my resolution is council direct administration to resume the regular use of High Level Facebook for the promotion of our community events, our programs, and our initiatives. Publicly recognize and thank sponsors and donors and community partners for their contributions on Facebook. This is what has made us a community. This Facebook page started over 11 years ago as council's way to get out to the public. What events, how to stay engaged in High Level. And people have been coming to me and expressing their dissatisfaction with our Facebook page because they cannot find events. I am one of those people. I don't go on there often, but I need to know when Gord Brantford was going to be out there. And I could not find any information on our Facebook page. I know we're trying to direct them to our web page, but people don't scroll through the Town of High Level web page when they're having their coffee or whatever in the morning. They're going to Facebook and they want to know what's going on. People didn't know we had a Canada Day celebration, and I've been harping on this, but it has not gone anywhere until this letter came to my attention. So I would like administration to resume the regular use of our High Level Facebook page for promoting our community events and programs. That's my resolution. Questions? I know I'm on a rant tonight, but people have been coming to me.
I don't
Councillor,
have a question. I just want to echo that. I think that's extremely important, especially when it does come to messaging to the community. I mean, I understand we put a lot of time into the website, but it's not something that is easy to navigate, especially for elderly people if they're going on there to try to find events or to see what's going on. For an example, this past weekend, it was almost impossible to find out about the garage sale day this past weekend. I don't know if the town even shared a Facebook post about that. I don't think they did. Which last year was a community event and it was very well received. And anyway, I think that it's extremely important that we do start sharing the way that we used to before with different posters. Sharing the one poster with a big giant message in between it just gets completely looked over because people get a little confused, and then they don't want to read through an entire 4 or 5 paragraphs of the events that are going on through the week. They want to see just the one poster they can click, they can save the photo, they can share it. That's what I used to do with my family. That's what many other people used to do as well. It was very simple, easy to share, and that I've actually brought this up in the past, and nothing's been changed since I brought that up either. So I'm glad that someone else is actually bringing this up again. And like the mayor mentioned as well with sponsorships, I've had a couple of businesses that have reached out to me through the chamber asking why the town is no longer sharing sponsorship information, especially when it came to the 60th anniversary. We raised tens of thousands of dollars through sponsorship for that, and it was very hard to see who sponsored that. Unless you went to the event page, which again, not many people did, it was hard to find any information on that. Which could be due to how the turnout was. But in regards in future events, if there's other combined events with other entities in town, they want to make sure that they're a part of it. Otherwise, people don't know that's who's involved with it, especially when it comes to businesses and nonprofits, because how else do you spread that word? And again, on sponsorship with businesses, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars into this town all the time to sponsor programs. And if they're not getting that recognition, what's the point of them doing that? Thank you.
Councillor Anderson.
So I won't rant that far because I agree with it. But also, what I've found on both the webpage and the other one is that there is lots of pertinent or lots of information on there that is old, and it gets very confusing because you can be looking for something that is happening in 2025, and you'll get a similar message that'll pop up that happened in 2020. And I'm wondering if there isn't a way to clean that up so that anything that's that old doesn't need to be on those sites. It should only be pertinent information within at least the last, well, for the Facebook page, it should be current, but even for the web page, maybe it should be current in 2025. And why should be stuff from 2020 and 2019 pop up on our stuff when it's not current anymore? So I think that needs to be looked at and cleaned up as well.
Yes, it's very important for our sponsors to be recognized.
Makes it very hard to navigate.
Yeah. All right, so that's my motion. All in favor? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, through your worship, if I may, I just want to provide some information to council that this year we had a record attendance on our Canada Day event. Just, you know, this is the first I heard that people didn't know we're having Canada Day and we're celebrating Canada Day. And also, as far as the sponsorship goes, we issued a thank you note to all the sponsors. So that did not go unrecognized.
And that was very welcomed. But when I sponsor something for $10,000, I want my name up there so everybody can see it. And that's the way businesses look at things. The notes did not go unnoticed, but they want recognition as well.
So administration understand that many people prefer Facebook as a tool to receive information from the town. And we recognize how useful that format has been in sharing information in the past. So our intent in linking to the website is to keep information in a central location, but we also do hear some of the frustrations about the website experience. Town administration is constantly looking at how we can evolve and improve our communications to reach as many residents as possible. And your feedback will be part of those conversations as we move forward. Thank you.
Yep, and I understand the website is valuable as well, but I want Facebook to go back the way it was.
Question or a
And it's
comment on that?
not because it's my want, because I rarely go on there to see what's happening. It's the want of the people, and we are here serving people. Yes, Councillor Welke.
I guess just two things. Yes, with regards to company sponsorship, like sponsorship, that's the dollar amount, but the intent really is not only participating in the community, but also advertising, as we've said a few times. So, so as a recognition note or a thank you from the event or the organizers of the event, that's nice. But for businesses, it is about the advertising as well. Very, very transparent there. With regards to the website being the main central place for all of our information, that's true, and that should be, but then all of that stuff should just be pushed out from there to all the social medias. It doesn't have to be recreated. I'm not a social media person, but I do believe like you can keep it all local in one, in one central place, but then just push it out everywhere, onto those platforms. So in a sense, those are just, the end result of this information that's kept centrally on the website.
Thank you. So, once again, my resolution, or my motion is out there. All in favor? Carried. Moving on to correspondence for information, you will see your detailed council groups are on there. Councillor Welke?
Actually, I have a question about our committee reports. About our committee reports list, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So we were on the film task force that both Jan and myself are part of. I was just looking kind of to see if we can finish this off. Logan, the ball had been passed to Logan's court as far as putting together the required permits that we had asked for into a bundle as a package to be given to film companies. We actually never heard anything back from Logan before he left. So that's kind of the stage that we were at, was waiting to finalize that so that we could put that task force to bed. So hoping we can finish that off before the election.
Through your worship, I will look into it. This is the first I heard of this. So, thank you.
So your departmental reports, what? Oh, go ahead. Your red light wasn't on.
Sorry. Just in regards to, since we were on committee reports there a second ago, Community Promotion Task Force was one of the committees that Councillor Lebron and I were on. One of the grants we had discussed in that was the NRED grant for signage in town and beautification. Have we heard anything? I understand that the rollout for the new logo and things like that, we're supposed to start in August. Is that still commencing this month?
Through your worship, yes, it is.
So is there any information that you wish to move? If not, could I take this for information, please? Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. So internal correspondence, the council committee chart, thank you to whoever put it together. And then you have the departmental monthly reports. Is there any questions? If not, can I Thank you, Councillor Lebrion. Sec for information, all in favor? Carried. And then outgoing correspondence, letter of support that we had discussed at our last council meeting for the Ken Sargent House in Grand Prairie. Can I accept outgoing correspondence for information, please? Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. So that will end our public portion of the meeting. Thank you for attending, and for the last time, I'm going to apologize for the technical difficulties. We are working on them. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. And we will recess into the in-camera.
Through your worship, can I get a motion to recess?
Could I have a motion to recess? Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Carried. Take 5. What? Okay. We're moving back, Josh. There's food there.